Once upon a time, Sally and Sam met and fell in love. They bought a big blue house with white shutters and then decided to mate and have a child. The tennis shoes represent Sam's paternal chromosomes, while the flip-flops represent Sally's maternal chromosomes. The letters on the tennis shoe represent the alleles or genetic information. The formation of a gamete or sex cell, certain steps have to occur twice: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and cytokinesis. This process is called meiosis. In prophase of meiosis 1, homologous diploid pairs of chromosomes cross over and exchange genetic information.
Dang it, you stole my thunder.
In metaphase 1 of meiosis, the chromosomes line up in the center of the cell. An independent assortment can occur here. The chromosomes can line up in whatever order they want. In anaphase 1, duplicated homologous chromosomes are separated by the spindle apparatus. In telophase 1 of meiosis, the cell spreads apart and becomes two separate cells through cytokinesis. Now meiosis 2 is in effect, in which we will focus on one of the two daughter cells. In prophase 1 of meiosis 2, the duplicated chromosomes are still present within the cell. In metaphase 2, the chromosomes line up in the center of the cell. In anaphase 2, the duplicated chromosomes are pulled apart by the spindle apparatus and become unduplicated. In telophase 2, the two cells divide again, and the final product is 4 haploid daughter cells that are each genetically unique and have unduplicated chromosomes. Go.
Sally and Sam had their child, and it turned out to be a 7-pound baby girl. As the child is growing, a process called mitosis is occurring. However, before the baby cells can go through mitosis, they must go through interphase. Interphase is the longest section of the cell cycle. Cells use this time to grow and to replicate their DNA in preparation of mitosis. In mitosis, the same steps happen as in meiosis, but we only go through the stages one time. In prophase of mitosis, chromosomes do not cross over, but duplicated chromosomes are present within the cell. In metaphase, chromosomes line up in the center of the cell. In anaphase, duplicated chromosomes are pulled apart and they become unduplicated. In telophase/cytokinesis, the cell divides into 2 identical daughter cells that are diploid and have unduplicated chromosomes. This is how Sally and Sam's baby girl developed into a 70-pound child.
Okay, so we're doing question 5, and the question, we're going to decide whether it's autosomal or X-linked. We're dealing with females with red eyes and males with white eyes in the paternal generation. So the male's genotype is a because it's recessive, and the female genotype can either be big A, little a, or big A. And since we're dealing with both autosomal and X-linked, the X-linked for the male is X little a y, and for the female it's X big A little a or X big A. So we did the Punnett squares for both autosomal and X-linked. The male genotype is little a for both, and then we did both of the possible female genotypes, so big A little a and big A. When we crossed them, we came out 50% red and 50% white on the big A little a genotype for the female, so that's not what the requirements are in the question. So the requirements are 100% red, which is big A. So that is the genotype for the female. And the same applies for the X-linked. So it is 100% red, and that's the genotype for the X-linked. So for the F2 generation, we took 100 females from the offspring. So we know that the genotype for the autosomal is big A little a, and for the X-linked, it is X big A X little a for all of the offspring. And we cross them with males with red eyes. So the males could either have a genotype of big A or big A little a. And when we crossed them, we found that big A, and big A, little a have 100% red, which is not what the requirements wanted. The requirements want 25% red and 75% white. So the genotype for both was big A, little a. And for X-linked, the only genotype that the male can have is X big A Y. So we crossed it and it also came out 25% white and 75% red. So it could be both autosomal or X-linked.